In the land of Gigantia, where mountains walked and rivers hummed, lived a tiny giant named Rolo. While every other giant towered like trees, Rolo was no taller than a large pumpkin. The other giants didn't mean to be unkind, but they often forgot he was even there. Rolo dreamed of being as big and strong as the others. "I want to be useful," he whispered to the stars every night. But the stars only twinkled back, as if saying, "Your time will come." One morning, the village of giants buzzed with fear. A deep rumbling shook Gigantia. The shadow troll had awakened. He was a creature bigger than any giant, made of smoke, darkness, and a terrible roar. The chief giant announced, "We will march tomorrow. All giants must help." Rolo stepped forward. "I want to help too." The giants exchanged glances and gently pushed him aside. Rolo sat alone on a stone. "Why won't anyone believe I can do something important?" he muttered. Just then, old Nana Gigantia sat beside him. She placed a huge hand softly on his tiny shoulder. "Because they see your size, Rolo, but not your heart. One day they will." Rolo hoped that day would come soon. The next morning, the giants marched to the Valley of Thunder to confront the shadow troll. Huge footsteps shook the ground. Rolo followed quietly behind. No one noticed. When the giants arrived, the shadow troll rose like a storm cloud with eyes. It roared so loudly that even the mountains trembled. The giants fought bravely, but every strike went straight through the troll's smoky body. Rolo watched carefully from behind a rock. Each time the troll roared, a tiny spark flickered inside its chest, a small glowing crystal. Rolo gasped. "That's its heart, and it's small, just like me." Suddenly the troll spotted the other giants regrouping and prepared another attack. Rolo took a deep breath. "They may be bigger, but I can be quicker." He ran right between the troll's smoky legs, dodging swirls of darkness. The giant warriors shouted, "Rolo, come back!" But Rolo didn't stop. He climbed up the troll's shadowy body, slipping a little but holding on. Finally, he reached its chest, where the tiny glowing crystal pulsed like a frightened heartbeat. With all his strength, Rolo wrapped his tiny arms around the crystal. "Stop hurting my people," he yelled. The crystal burst with bright light. The troll howled and dissolved into gentle sparks that floated into the sky. Silence fell. Then the giants gasped in amazement. Rolo fell gently to the ground, landing on a soft cloud of leftover magic. The chief giant lifted Rolo high. "Rolo, the tiny giant, saved us all." The other giants cheered so loudly that the clouds shook with happiness. For the first time, no one looked down at Rolo. No one forgot he was there. They saw him. Truly saw him. That night, Nana Gigantia hugged Rolo proudly. "You see," she said, "greatness isn't how tall you stand, but how big you rise when the moment calls." Rolo smiled at the stars, the same stars he once whispered his wishes to. This time they twinkled back knowingly, because the tiniest giant in Gigantia had proven a truth that would never be forgotten. You don't need to be big to do something great. You only need a brave heart.